You were told a lie, a beautiful lie, a noble lie. Work harder, sacrifice more, and one day, the crown will be yours. But look closer. The men who worked the hardest in history were never the kings. They were the ones who carried the stones. From the moment you were young, they programmed your mind. Keep your head down. Be reliable. Be the hardest worker in the room. And the world will reward you. But the world does not reward effort. It rewards control. Look at the pyramid. At the bottom are the workers, sweating, bleeding, breaking their backs. At the top sits the one who never carried a single stone. Power never belonged to the strongest worker. It belonged to the one who designed the system. And today the pyramid still exists. It just looks different. Offices, deadlines, emails, endless hustle. You were told that exhaustion is a badge of honor. That burnout means you're doing it right. But exhaustion is the leash. A tired man never questions the cage. You were trained to be the lion. Strong, relentless, always charging forward. But the world is run by foxes. The lion breaks its bones against the wall. The fox simply finds the door. So here is the truth few people dare to say. Working harder will not set you free. It will only make you a better servant. If you want power, you must stop thinking like the worker and start thinking like the architect. And tonight, we begin that transformation. Your energy is the most valuable currency you possess. But you were taught to spend it like it was worthless. Wake up early. Work longer, push harder, give everything, and somehow that became a virtue. But ask yourself one question. If you give away all your energy, what is left for your freedom? This is not an accident. It is design. A tired man is a safe man. A tired man does not question the rules. He does not study the system. He does not plan his escape. He only thinks about survival. And survival keeps the machine running. Look carefully at the powerful. Do they rush? Do they panic? Do they sweat over every small problem? No. They move slowly. They think slowly. Because strategy is born in silence. When your head is buried in endless work, you cannot see the battlefield. You only see the dirt. Leisure is not laziness. It is a weapon. The quiet hour is where power is built, where ideas form, where strategies emerge. But the system cannot allow that. So it fills your life with noise, tasks, notifications, deadlines. Just enough chaos to keep you too busy to think. This is the first illusion you must destroy. The belief that your value comes from suffering. Pain is not a credential. Burnout is not a badge of honor. You cannot deposit exhaustion in the bank. The world does not reward the most tired man. It rewards the most strategic one. The powerful do not release all their strength. They store it. Like water behind a dam, pressure builds, silence grows, and when the moment arrives, they release it in one decisive move. This is the difference between effort and leverage. There is a strange addiction most people never question. The addiction to being busy. I'm swamped. I'm drowning in work. I'm slammed today. Listen carefully. Those words are spoken with pride, because deep down, busyness feels like importance. But busyness is a brilliant illusion. Motion is not progress. You can run 10 miles a day and still be exactly where you started. Most people are not moving forward. They are simply running in circles. And the system encourages this. Because a busy mind never asks dangerous questions. Questions like, Why am I here? Who benefits from my exhaustion? And the most dangerous one of all, who designed this maze? Busyness is the perfect anesthetic. If you move fast enough, you never feel the existential dread. You never stop long enough to realize you may have spent your entire life climbing the wrong mountain. Here is a brutal truth. Being needed is not the same as being powerful. The janitor is needed. The worker is needed. The driver is needed. If they disappear, the system pauses. But the owner, he can disappear for months and the machine keeps printing money. Machiavelli understood this. When he was exiled, stripped of power, and sent away to a quiet farm, he did not panic. He did not chase busyness. He sat. He studied. He thought. And in that silence he wrote The Prince, a book that shaped empires for 500 years. Here is another trap few people notice. Competence. The better you are at carrying the bricks, the more bricks they give you. You fix one problem. Suddenly, every problem belongs to you. If you become the best person at fixing the printer, congratulations. You are now the printer fixer for the rest of your life. Competence becomes your prison. The system loves the reliable person, the responsible one, the one who says, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." And slowly, without noticing, you become the pack mule for everyone else's chaos. Watch carefully in any room. When a new problem appears, who speaks first? The anxious ones, the people who need approval, the people afraid of silence. But silence is power. There are skills you should master, and there are skills you should never touch. Because the moment you become too good at the wrong thing, it becomes your destiny. Not every ladder leads to the top. The worker solves problems. The strategist chooses which problems exist. And that is the difference between a pawn and the player. If you want power, you must stop proving how useful you are and start deciding what is worth doing. Machiavelli once said, "A ruler must learn to be two creatures, the lion and the fox." The lion represents strength, force, relentless effort. Most men are taught to become the lion. The lion is powerful. It crushes enemies. It fights head-on. It charges the wall until either the wall breaks or the lion does. But the lion has one fatal weakness. It cannot see the trap. The fox is different. The fox is not strong. It does not fight the wolves. Instead, the fox studies the terrain. It sees the traps before they close. And that is why the fox survives. The lion tries to break the wall. The fox finds the door. Hard work is the lion. It attacks every obstacle with more effort. But the strategist asks a different question. Is there another path? Most people increase effort when something fails. They push harder. They run faster. They burn more energy. But the fox does not push harder. The fox changes direction. This is the scam of hard work. It convinces the lions to keep fighting in the arena, while the foxes quietly leave the arena and build the kingdom outside the walls. There is another illusion that keeps the machine alive. The belief that effort equals reward. Work harder, produce more, and eventually success will arrive. But the world does not work like a calculator. Effort does not guarantee outcome. In the real world, one small move can change everything. A single phone call, a single connection, a single decision. One action can generate 1,000 results. This is leverage. The worker uses effort. The strategist uses leverage. The worker moves the bricks. The strategist moves the board. And one move on the board is worth 1,000 swinging hammers. Imagine lifting a building with your bare hands. Impossible. But add the right machine, and the impossible becomes effortless. Technology, capital, networks, knowledge. These are cranes in the world of power. Most people try to lift the world with their back. The strategist looks for the lever. Where is the advantage? Where is the shortcut? Where is the system that multiplies effort? Find the lever, and the world moves. Hard work is not the enemy, but it is only a tool, a hammer. And fools worship the hammer. The powerful use it only when necessary. If this idea resonates with you, leave a single word in the comments. Rise. Because recognizing the illusion is the first step toward power. There is one chain harder to break than any prison. The chain of pride. You are proud of your suffering. Proud of how hard you work. Proud of the scars you carry. You look at the wealthy and you say, they had it easy. They got lucky. They don't know real work. And maybe some of that is true. But listen carefully. While you judge them, they buy the building you work in. Your pride is a defense mechanism. It protects your ego from a painful truth. If hard work guaranteed success, you would already be powerful. But effort is not the currency of power. Strategy is. Look at nature. Water flows downhill. Electricity follows the shortest path. The universe always chooses the path of least resistance. But you were taught to swim upstream. You were told to climb harder, to grind longer, to suffer more. But power does not come from climbing faster. It comes from finding the correct ladder. Drop the judgment. It is heavy. It slows you down. Admit something most people fear. You want power. You want freedom. You want resources without breaking your back for every drop. There is no shame in wanting an easier life. There is only shame in refusing to see reality. You cannot escape the system by smashing the cage. That is what the lion tries to do. And the lion exhausts itself against the bars. The fox does something different. It studies the lock. Right now, your loyalty belongs to the system, to the employer, to the image of the good worker. But power begins when your loyalty shifts. From them to yourself. You do not quit recklessly. That would be the lion again. Instead, you become something far more dangerous. A double agent. You still go to work. You still play the role. But inside, your mission has changed. You observe. You learn. You study how the machine works, where the money flows, who holds the keys, who makes the real decisions. Your job is no longer labor. It is intelligence gathering. Every day, inside the system, becomes paid education. You steal the blueprint. You study the strategy. You collect the tools. And quietly in the dark, you begin to build your ladder. If this perspective changes how you see the world, pass it forward. Let someone else see the cage. Because once a mind recognizes the trap, it can never unsee it. And that is where power begins. There is one quality that separates the strategist from the worker. Patience. The worker needs immediate results. Immediate praise. Immediate progress. But the strategist plays a longer game. The system feeds you small rewards. A paycheck every 2 weeks. A compliment from your boss. A promotion every few years. Just enough to keep you inside the cage. Just enough to make you forget the bigger game. The impatient mind attacks the surface. But power is never on the surface. It hides in the roots. Ownership. Control. Systems. Assets. That is where the real game is played. The cage is comfortable. That is why most people never leave. Inside the cage, there is food, there is company, there is routine, but outside there is silence, cold, uncertainty, and freedom. The strategist must learn to walk alone. No applause, no validation, no cheering crowd, just a quiet mind building in the dark. Most people cannot handle that silence, so they return to the cage. But those who endure the silence begin to see what others cannot. Patterns, leverage, opportunity. The path to power is invisible to the impatient mind, but to the strategist, it slowly reveals itself. When you stop grinding, something strange happens. The system pushes back. It whispers dangerous thoughts. You're being lazy. You're falling behind. You should be doing more. Because the machine needs your energy to survive. Society does not reward the one who steps back. It shames him. It questions him. It calls him unproductive. But remember this: every strategist must survive this moment. The moment when everyone else still believes the illusion. The hardest part is not learning strategy. The hardest part is resisting the rhythm of the machine. The endless motion, the endless noise, the endless urgency. Most people cannot stop running. But when you step back, when you stand still, when you think, something powerful happens. You begin to see patterns. You begin to see leverage. You begin to see the hidden doors others run past every day. The worker moves bricks. The architect moves systems. The worker reacts to problems. The architect designs the environment where problems never appear. This is the mindset you must build. If this idea changed the way you see power, let this perspective travel. Someone else is still trapped in the illusion of endless effort. And sometimes one new idea is enough to unlock an entire mind. For most people, life becomes an endless climb. Climb the ladder. Climb faster. Climb higher. But nobody asks the most dangerous question. Who built the ladder? Because sometimes the ladder is not broken. It works perfectly. It does exactly what it was designed to do. It keeps you climbing forever inside someone else's empire. Power is not found inside the system. It is found above it. Ownership, control, decision. These are the strings that move the world. Most workers never see them. When you stand inside the maze, everything looks complicated. Every turn feels random. But step above the maze, and suddenly the pattern becomes obvious. Strategy is not about working less. It is about seeing more. Seeing systems. Seeing incentives. Seeing patterns others ignore. This is the beginning of real power. Once your mind changes, everything changes. You stop asking, how hard must I work? And start asking a far more powerful question. Where is the leverage? Most people spend their lives rowing harder, faster, sweating more, fighting the storm. But the strategist builds a different vessel, one that moves with the current, not against it. Hard work was never the enemy. Blind work was. Effort without direction creates exhaustion, but effort combined with leverage creates freedom. And freedom is the real currency of power. Remember this. The worker asks, what must I do next? The strategist asks, what system should exist? One question creates labor. The other creates power. This is why most people never escape. They keep climbing the ladder faster and faster, never realizing the ladder was never meant to reach the top. Power does not belong to the hardest worker. It belongs to the clearest thinker, the one who understands systems, leverage, timing, and human nature. If you want to continue learning how power really works, Stay close. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. Because the next lesson will reveal another hidden rule most people never discover.